Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. We're getting ready to kick things off at Montgomery County Blair High School. Your starting lineup for your Bethesda Big Train. Batting first going to be Justin Nadeau, followed by birthday boy Andrew Williamson. Then it's going to be shortstop Kenan Bowman. Davin Whitaker at DH, followed by Christopher Diaz. Then it's going to be the catcher Luke Vaughn, followed by Jaden Bastion, Jordan Crosland, and batting ninth going to be Matthew Wesley. In the field, behind the plate, it's going to be Jeff Sabater. On the mound for the T-Bolts, going to be John Carver. In the corners, it's Quadros at third. Going to be Steve Thomas at first. Shortstop, going to be Jack McCarthy. Braden Foster at second. And in the outfield from left to right, it's going to be Bryce Curry, Josh Dunyan, and Matthew Kim. First pitch to Nadeau. He nails it out to center field. It's going to drop for a base hit. What a start for the Bethesda Big Train. So Nadeau kicking things off with a base hit. Up next at the plate, going to be Andrew Williamson. First offering to Williamson, in there for strike one.
Now, one of our interns, Aaron Simon, actually mentioned this to me earlier today as we hit this last week of the regular season. We are officially on Triple Crown Watch with Andrew Williamson.
As the next offering to Williamson, hitting the backstop for ball one.
Williamson, second in the league in batting average, hits, and home runs amongst qualified batters.
The 0-2 to Williamson. And that one's going to be in there for strike three. So Williamson going to be retired early. That's going to send up shortstop Kenan Bowman. Again, it's Jack McCarthy behind the plate on the mound. John Carver.
Now Carver making his seventh appearance of the summer, enters tonight 0-3 as pitched 20 and a third with a 7.52 ERA.
First offering to Bowman going to be swung on and missed for strike one.
The Big Train have seen him once. That was back on June 13th. Allowed just one earned in 3 innings pitched. The Big Train taking that one 8-5.
The 0-1. That one's also swung on and missed for strike two.
And as you said earlier, Phoebe, the T-Bolts taking the last matchup between these two on June 30th, 8-4. The T-Bolts looking to keep their playoff hopes alive.
As the 0-2 is high, McCarthy tries to gun down Nadeau at first, unsuccessful. So the count now 1-2 on Bowman. Again, Nadeau still safely aboard first. The 1-2, that one's also high. Moving the count even on Bowman.
The T-Bolts entering tonight tied with the Braves at 12-18. The Big Train sitting at 16-14.
The 2-2, that one's going to be fouled off into the backstop.
Now, if the season were to end today, the Aces and the Giants, who have already clinched playoff spots, would get byes into the LCS semifinals. The Big Train would host the Grays at Shirley Povich Field. The Senators would be hosting the Crop Dusters in Waldorf in the other playing game.
As a 2-2 going to be inside. McCarthy makes the throw down to shortstop Erd. Unsuccessful. Nadeau going to charge over to third. So now the first run in scoring position at third base in Justin Nadeau. The throw from catcher McCarthy over to shortstop, a little offline. Nadeau using that to advance to third. Count full on Bowman. Again, 1 out on the board for the Big Train. Full count. That one's popped high and foul, and it's going to land in the T-Bolts bullpen.
Now the Big Train, although it is still possible for them to win the North Division, it will be incredibly difficult to make up the 4-game deficit they find themselves in regards to their
Full
spacing
count
with the
going to be
Giants.
high for ball 4. Bowman going to take his base at first, putting runners on the corners for your designated hitter, Davin Whitaker.
Now Whitaker not starting much this summer at designated hitter, has mostly been in right field and at third base. Whitaker entering tonight hitting .309. One of 3 Big Train players with at least 30 hits this season, along with Emilio Gonzalez and Andrew Williamson. Those same 3 players also all have at least 20 RBIs. Whitaker with 21 of them entering tonight.
First offering to Whitaker going to be low and outside for ball 1.
Has gotten a hit in 6 of his last 7 games as well.
The 1-0. That one launched into right field. It's going to bounce for a base hit. Nadeau crosses home plate for the first run of the evening. Big Train strikes first. Bowman aboard second. Whitaker aboard first for the right fielder, Chris Diaz, to step up to the plate.
We've seen all summer long Davin Whitaker do such a good job of getting on top of the ball, but not hitting a ton of ground balls. A lot of them have been line drives off of his bat. It was interesting talking to him a handful of days ago about his batting stance and why it is the way it is, and he said for that exact reason, because he was getting under the ball too much.
First offering to Diaz going to be high for ball 1.
Diaz, another Ripken League All-Star, has made a significant jump.
As the 1-0 going to be fouled off down the third base line, actually landing over at the Big Train dugout for strike 1.
If you had told me about a week or 2 into the season that Christopher Diaz was going to be a Ripken League All-Star, I'm not sure I would have believed you, but he has really taken his game to another level as of late.
The 1-1. That one going to be grounded over to shortstop Erd. He'll scoop and make the throw to Foster at first for out number 2. But runners Bowman and Whitaker safely aboard third and second. Can see Bat Boy Owen going to get the dropped bat.
Come on, a little pep, a little more pep in the step. Come on. We got places to be, Owen.
Now stepping up, catcher Luke Vaughn, another all-star for the Big Train. With 2 outs on the board, 2 runners in scoring position. Big Train already taken the first lead of the game. First offering to Vaughn in there for strike 1.
He had only played 11 games before the Ripken League All-Star game, but clearly that was enough to win over the people in charge of picking the All-Stars.
I believe it was the game before, as the 0-1. That one just high for ball 1. The game right before the All-Star game. He got the night off for the first time since joining the Big Train this summer. The 1-1. That one outside for ball 2.
Now the T-Bolts are just 1 game behind the Grays for that last wild card spot, as are the Braves. Neither of those teams I don't think would be too fun of a playing opponent for whoever draws them.
The 2-1. That one outside for ball 3. Count moves 3-1 on Vaughn.
Because all it takes is one or a couple or a few good innings, and that could be that. The Braves and the T-Bolts, both very strong and explosive offensive teams.
The 3-1. That one's fouled off into the backstop to move the count full on Vaughn. And there goes Bat Boy Owen.
Yes. Better hustle. Seen so much improvement from only a couple of pitches. Real proud of our boy.
Full count on Vaughn. 2 outs on the board for the Big Train, who have 2 runners in scoring position. Full count, popped high and foul over the first base grandstand. Here comes the full count. That one grounded to third baseman Curry. He'll throw it to Foster at first, but Vaughn too fast for the T-Bolts. He's safely aboard first as Bowman crosses home plate to give the Big Train their second run of the evening. Runners still on the corners for Jaden Bastian.
That was not a great throw by Curry. I think if that one was on target towards Braden Foster at first, this inning would be over. With the T-Bolts entering tonight, as they have been for most of the season, the worst fielding team in the Ripken League, entering tonight with 65 errors. That's 14 more than the next closest team. The Grays and Big Train both tied for 51 errors so far in the season.
First offering to Bastian, going to be outside for ball 1. Runners don't go. McCarthy was prepared to make the throw down to second should Vaughn attempt to steal. Count 1-0 on Bastian. Again, 2 outs on the board for the Big Train. 1-0. That one's popped high and foul over the T-Bolts dugout. Count moves to 1-1 on Bastian.
Now you have to think if the T-Bolts are able to make it into the playoffs, the fielding might be the deciding factor between a win and a loss.
The 1-1. That one going to be low and outside for ball 2.
We saw the Big Train walk a game off on a wild pitch. And we saw them almost complete one of the greatest comebacks any of us have ever seen against the Crop Dusters because their defense fell apart in the bottom of the 9th.
The 2-1. That one going to be outside for ball 3. Count moving 3-1 on Bastian. 2 outs on the board for the Big Train, who have runners on the corners. Whitaker at third, Vaughn at first. The 3-1. That one going to be low and outside for ball 4. Bastian making his way over to first, and that has loaded the bases for Maryland Terrapin, Jordan Crosland.
Now that Crosland has officially crossed 100 at-bats, Phoebe, name me your favorite thing about a turtle.
My favorite thing about a turtle, I thought you were going to say about Jordan Crosland. I was like, where do I start?
you could do both if you'd like, as we're going to have a mound visit here.
One of the things I love most about Jordan is how kind and respectful and just happy he always is. He always brings such a great energy on and off of the field. He's such a great presence to have here. My favorite thing about a turtle, I think, is their shell. I loved learning that their spine is attached to the shell. I think that's so crazy. And I think also just how long they've lived, as the first offering to Crosland is going to be low and outside for ball 1. Like, turtles have been around forever.
Speaking of a century, that's how long turtles are able to live. At least some species are.
The 1-0 outside for ball 2. Again, count 2-0 on Crosland. Bases loaded, 2 outs on the board. Big Train has already taken a 2-run lead as 2-0 going to be in there for strike 1.
Now Crosland struggling a little bit, hitting an uncharacteristic rough patch. Is just 1 for his last 11 entering tonight, but boy, what a great time for the Big Train this would be if he's able to break it.
As a 2-1. Going to be swung on and missed for strike 2, moving the count even on the second baseman.
Crosland, a couple homers, 17 RBIs so far this season.
The 2-2. That one popped high, ranging under it. Going to be center fielder Jeff Sabater. He makes the catch, and that'll end the inning. Big Train taking a 2-run lead to kick off the ball game. Looking to protect that lead when they take to the field. We'll return with the bottom of the first when we come back. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner, no. 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 Boogie down, mix up. Boogie down, fix up. The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey baby, I love the way you groove. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey baby, I love the way you boogie down. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Boogie down.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the bottom of the first inning. Your Bethesda Big Train taking a 2-run lead. First at bat for the T-Bolts going to be number 7, Josh Erd, the shortstop for the T-Bolts. At the plate, Joey Wimpelberg. Pitching for your Bethesda Big Train, first offering going to be swung on and missed for strike 1. Count moving 0-1 on Erd.
That's a sweet off speed to start things off. Wimpelberg having a solid summer, just a 3.43 ERA and 18 1/3 innings pitched entering tonight.
The 0-1 going to be low and outside for ball 1.
Now, not much of a strikeout guy, but oftentimes he has gotten the job done.
The 1-1. That one in there for strike 2. So behind the plate for the Big Train is Luke Vaughn. At the corners, it's Nato at third, Wesley at first. As the 1-2, the 1-1 going to be fouled off for strike 2. Shortstop tonight is Kenan Bowman, Jordan Crosland at second, and the outfield from left to right going to be Bastian, Williamson, and Diaz. The 1-2. That one going to be popped high to Bowman. He makes the throw over to Wesley at first in time for out number 1.
That was a similar pitch that Wimpelberg threw the first time, and he was able to induce a ground ball out. Great start for Wimpelberg.
Now stepping up, going to be number 38, the center fielder, Jeff Sabater.
Now, I said earlier that Williamson was second in batting average in the Ripken League amongst qualified batters. Sabater is the one to beat.
As the first offering to Sabater, going to be in there for strike one.
Currently batting .435 on the season. Has gotten on base just a little over 60% of the time, which is pretty ridiculous.
The 0-1. That one going to be outside for ball one.
Now, he's not much of a slugger, nor at Millersville, nor has he been here, but the guy knows how to get on base.
The 1-1. That one going to be popped low to Bowman. He bobbles it, makes the throw to Wesley at first. But not in time, so Sabater safely aboard first. As you said, that man sure knows how to get on base.
He's just so fast. We saw Bowman bobble that ball. The margin for error as an infielder is so slim when Sabater is aboard.
Now stepping up to the plate, going to be number 49, the right fielder, Steve Thomas. First offering to Thomas. That one's going to be low, gets away from catcher Vaughn, and Sabater steals second. Umpire calls time.
That is Sabater's 18th stolen base of the season. Has a commanding lead for second on the team in stolen bases. Quincy Villa still in first with 22.
So the count 1-0 on Thomas. Again, Sabater at second, one out on the board for the T-Bolts. Here comes the 1-0. That one gonna be grounded to Crosland, can't get a good hand on it. Makes the throw to second, but not in time. Sabater rushing around the base path, gonna score the first run of the evening for the T-Bolts, who have cut the Big Train's lead in half. And they're not done yet. Have Thomas aboard first, now stepping up, number 26, Braden Foster, the first baseman for the T-Bolts. That one, line just through the hole. Crosland unable to get to it in time. Pickoff attempt at first, unsuccessful. Now at the plate again, Braden Foster.
Currently on a 3-game hitting streak.
As Thomas is chased back to first.
Hit a home run a few nights ago against the Crop Dusters in a wild 15-14 victory for Silver Spring Tacoma.
First offering to Thomas. That one gonna be fouled off for strike one. That ball was pretty low, but Foster chipping away at it, fouled it off into the backstop. The 0-1. That one popped high. Bowman ranging under it. And he's got it for out number 2.
Phoebe, I couldn't really hear super well. I think Kenan Bowman got it.
It's funny, for the first time going to the All-Star game, we got to actually hear Bowman on the field. Something I guess every other Big Train intern was aware of is that he is very loud when he calls for the ball.
Rather have that 10 out of 10 times than someone who's too quiet.
As Thomas chased back to first. Now at the plate, going to be Ryan Quadros, number 32, the designated hitter for the T-Bolts.
Played in 14 games so far this season, has gotten a hit in 12 of them.
First offering to Quadros, going to be low in the dirt for ball one.
Currently riding an 8-game hit streak. Was a Ripken League All-Star as well.
The 1-0. That one going to be popped high into center field. Williamson under it with that catch for out number 3. So the T-Bolts scratch across 1, but Big Train still leading 2-1, looking to tack onto that when we return with the top of the second. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the top of the second inning. Big Train currently leading 2-1, looking to tack onto that lead from the plate. Leading things off, going to be number 20, the first baseman, Matthew Wesley, followed by Justin Nato, the third baseman, and Andrew Williamson, the center fielder.
Now, during batting practice, Matthew Wesley hit a baseball off of the fire station beyond the left field fence. I was busy talking to Coach Lopez when all of a sudden I hear, "Whoa!" And sure enough, Wesley had hit the fire station with the baseball.
First offering, and Wesley grounded to shortstop Erd. He makes the throw to to Foster for out number 1, but Wesley making some great contact.
Speaking of fire stations, that play was pretty hot by Josh Erd. That was a really nice diving stop. Really good contact from Wesley, as you said.
Now up at the plate, third baseman Justin Nato again kicked things off for the Big Train with a base hit. First offering, going to be in there for strike 1.
Now the Big Train are going to be facing a new pitcher for the T-Bolts. It's going to be Jay Wandell, a Bethesda, Maryland product, played his high school ball at Walter Johnson. Has been very good for the T-Bolts so far this summer.
As the 0-1 fouled off into the catcher's feet.
Only 2 earned runs allowed in just over 15 innings pitched. His first 4 appearances didn't allow a single earned run.
Count 0-2 on Nato. Again, 1 out on the board for the Big Train. Here comes the 0-2. That one gonna be outside for ball 1.
Wandell picked up the decision in his last 3 outings. First 2 were wins. The last one against the Braves was a loss on July 5th.
1-2 also gonna be outside, moving the count even on NATO. Again, 1 out on the board for the big train. The 2-2. That one's popped high and foul. Gonna land in the big train bullpen. So the count's still 2-2 on NATO. Again, 1 out on the board for the big train. The 2-2. That one popped high into left center field. And it's gonna drop at the wall for a base hit. NATO charging towards second. He's gonna hole up there. What a way to kick off his evening. Again, we mentioned NATO's very first game made an incredibly strong first impression. Reached base on all 6 at-bats during that game.
NATO looking like the current batter, Andrew Williamson, there with a stand-up double in the left center field.
Again, happy birthday to Andrew Williamson. Celebrating his birthday on Free Slurpee Day.
As he has every year of his life, actually. That's pretty cool. Birthday and free Slurpee from 7-Eleven.
Can't get better than that.
What about 2 Slurpees from 7-Eleven?
I wonder if they have a promotion for birthdays on 7-Eleven. As a first offering to Williamson, gonna be low.
So the Slurpee on July 11th is free. They actually pay you.
I don't know. We might have to ask him. I don't know if he frequents 7-Eleven on his birthday, though, as the 1-0 going to be outside for ball 2.
Now, considering how well it looks like he maintains his body, I'm not sure much bad food or drink enters his system. But maybe it does.
The 2-0. Allen going to be grounded foul down the first base line. Count moving 2-1 on Williamson. Again, NATO on second.
Holy
1 out on the board.
Look at the hustle down the right field line for that foul ball. That's Todd Murphy, number 52 on the T-Bolts.
The foul ball rolled into the corner out by the right field fence.
Go Todd. Good for you, Todd.
I think that one was a little too far for Bat Boy Owen. As a 2-1 going to be launched into right field, it's going to land foul. So the count moves even at 2 on Williamson. NATO going to have to track back over to second.
Phoebe, I don't think anything is out of the limits of Owen Lieber.
You're right.
The ways of the Bat Boy know no bounds.
I still have yet to get my bobblehead signed by him. I'll have to bring it to the next home game.
I think you'll have a bunch more opportunities. Don't you worry. I think we're going to be seeing him a good bit until whenever the season ends.
As the 2-2 going to be popped high and foul over the big train dugout.
Now again, apologies if it sounds like we're in some sort of bunker. We are under the bleachers here at Montgomery Blair High School. Those are footsteps above us.
The 2-2. Allen going to be grounded to second baseman. Kimmy flips it over to Foster to record out number 2. NATO steals third as shortstop Kenan Bowman going to step up to the plate. So NATO with the big train's potential third run in scoring position at third base. 2 outs on the board for the big train. Kenan Bowman up at the plate. Was walked during his first at-bat. First offering. Allen in there for strike 1.
Really good pitch there from Wandell. Just such a sharp breaking ball. That one starting outside of the zone, then coming right back in.
The 0-1. Allen low and outside for ball 1.
Now, if Bowman hits a home run on the same path he did during the All-Star game, I think he might hit that fire truck just beyond the scoreboard in left field.
The 1-1, that one's going to be swung on and missed for strike 2. Bowman's All-Star game home run. What a thing of beauty. Just hugged that left field line and stayed foul, dropping in the left field corner at the only Boys and Girls Club. The 1-2. That one going to be swung on and missed for strike 3 and out number 3. So the Big Train leave one stranded at third, still leading by 1 run, looking to protect that lead when we return with the bottom of the second. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the bottom of the second inning. Big Train still leading 2-1. Wimpelberg still on the mound for the Big Train. First up at the plate for the T-Bolts, going to be their catcher, number 18, Jack McCarthy. First offering to McCarthy. That one in there for strike 1.
McCarthy playing his college ball at Mount St. Mary's. Got the number 4 seed in the MAAC this past season. Went on a little Cinderella run to the MAAC final.
It's the 0-1 going to be swung on and missed for strike 2.
That included knocking off top-seeded Fairfield. Unfortunately, the Mountaineers fell to Niagara in the MAAC championship game.
The 0-2. That one upstairs for ball 1. Count moves 1 and 2 on McCarthy.
McCarthy riding a 4-game hitting streak, batting .237 on the summer so far.
The 1-2 going to be grounded shallow, scooped up by Nato, makes the flip over to Wesley at first for out number 1. Again, that one hit just shallowly down the third base line. Nato charging in to make the scoop and throw over to first in time to record out number 1. Now stepping up, number 20, Bryce Curry, the third baseman for the T-Bolts.
Now Curry also in a rhythm as of late. Hits in his last 5 games, including 8 of his last 9.
First offering to Curry. That one upstairs for ball 1.
Went 1 for 4 the last time the T-Bolts played the Big Train, including an RBI.
The 1-0. That one grounded. Bowman can't get the scoop on it. So Curry gonna safely reach first. Looks like that one just popped under the glove of Bowman. He was leaning down to make the scoop. Couldn't get a good hand on it, and with that, Curry gonna put a T-Bolt runner on first for number 27, left fielder Josh Dunyan. First offering to Dunyan. That one popped high into right center field. Diaz lost it in the air. That's going to drop at the wall. So Dunyan reaches second, pushing Curry to third. And with that, the T-Bolts have the go-ahead run in scoring position at second.
That one actually a ground rule double out of the reach of Chris Diaz, hopping over the fence. As you said, Phoebe, in right center field. Now Matthew Kim stepping up to the plate with, got 2 runners in scoring position and 1 out.
First offering to Kim. Gonna be just a hair outside for ball 1.
Now Kim plays his college ball at Gettysburg College, just a few minutes away from the spot where Abraham Lincoln gave arguably the greatest halftime speech in American history, better known as the Gettysburg Address.
It's the 1-0 gonna be in there for strike 1.
And I think Matthew Kim might need to be given a baseball version of the Gettysburg Address, entering today just 2 of 32 on the season.
The 1-1. That one in there for strike 2. So the count moves 1-2 on Matthew Kim. Again, T-Bolts have runners aboard second and third, 1 out on the board. Dunyan representing the go-ahead run at second after hitting a ground rule double into right center field. The 1-2. That one grounded to Bowman, gets the scoop. Throw down to Wesley at first, so that'll record out number 2. Runners still aboard second and third. As the top of the order, number 7, Josh Erd, gonna step up to the plate.
I love that play by Bowman. That ball hit the part of the infield where the grass and the dirt meet, causing the ball to die and ride along the dirt on a flat, straight path. Bowman doing a great job of getting the glove all the way down, avoiding a Bill Buckner and getting the second out of the inning.
First offering to Erd, high and outside, sailing over Erd's head. Thankfully, he ducked out of the way. Count moving 1-0 on Erd.
I think he heard that. I'm so sorry. That was awful.
The 1-0. Allen painting the inside corner for strike 1. So count moves 1-1 on Erd. Again, runners on second and third for the T-Bolts. 2 outs on the board. The 1-1. Allen just a tad too high, moving the count 2-1 on Erd.
Wimpelberg would probably love to retire Erd, especially because Jeff Sabater is waiting on deck.
The 2-1. Allen fouled off into the catcher, moving the count even at 2 on Erd. Wimpelberg now just a strike away from protecting the Big Train's 1-run lead. Again, T-Bolts have runners on second and third thanks to a ground rule double from John Dunyan. The 2-2. That one going to be low and outside. Count moves full on Erd.
Again, Sabater waiting on deck. Reached first in his last at bat. Kenan Bowman bobbled a ground ball, which was more than enough time for Sabater to make it over to first.
The full count. That one popped high and foul over the T-Bolts dugout. So Erd stays alive to face the full count pitch. The 3-2. That one grounded to Nato. Flips it over to Wesley at first to record out number 3. So the Big Train fielding squad leave 2 T-Bolts stranded on second and third, protecting their 2-1 lead. Stay tuned as we head into the top of the third. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the top of the third inning. Kicking things off, going to be the DH, Davin Whitaker. Recorded a base hit during his first at-bat. Is going to show bunt, and that's going to get him over to first as the throw from Wardle over to Foster at first is offline and high. Whitaker taking advantage of the error. That's going to send up Christopher Diaz.
Whitaker is definitely not the fastest player in this Big Train lineup, but he is a hustler and is willing to do whatever to get on base. Hasn't shown bunt a whole lot this season, but worked out that time.
First offering to Diaz. Launched over to shortstop. Erd makes the throw to Foster at first. Unable to get Diaz out at first. But we're able to get Whitaker at second. So that's going to record 1 out for the Big Train as catcher Luke Vaughn steps up to the plate.
I've got to say, that glove from Erd has been golden thus far. That was a heck of a scoop on a ball that almost looked like it was going to be caught in the air.
Runner goes to second. Throw from McCarthy over to shortstop Erd in time. So that's going to record out number 2 for the Big Train. No runners on base.
That looked more like J.J. McCarthy back there than Jack McCarthy. Great throw from the catcher to get the speedy Diaz at second.
So now with 2 outs at on the board, first offering to Luke Vaughn in there for strike 1.
I really love Wandell's off speed. Starts outside of the zone and then comes back in, which is always extremely difficult to hit.
The 0-1. Allen in the dirt, going to bounce back into the backstop. Count moves even at 1 on Vaughn.
I've seen a lot of pitchers with off-speed pitches that broke effectively and were super sharp. They just weren't very strong in terms of location. Wandell, just a rising freshman, clearly capable of that.
It's the 1-1, going to be fouled off for strike 2. The 1-2. Allen chopped foul down the third base line. Vaughn going to stay alive to face the 1-2 count again. 2 outs on the board for the Big Train. No runners on base. Still sitting ahead 2-1. Would like to tack on to that for some insurance. As Vaughn going to be hit by the pitch. He'll take his base at first. That's going to send up left fielder Jaden Bashan, who has walked during his previous at-bat.
Now Bastion entering tonight, batting .289, a homer and 16 RBIs.
First offering to Bastion. That one popped high into left center field. Underage with the glove catch, and out number 3, Jeff Sabater. So the Big Train held scoreless, still leading 2-1. Stay tuned as we head into the bottom of the third. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the bottom of the third inning. Big Train still leading 2-1, looking to protect that lead from the field. First up for the T-Bolts, going to be number 38, Jeff Sabater. Made a beautiful catch from center field to end the top of the third. First offering in there for strike 1.
Not the biggest of baseball players on the Ripken League website, listed at 5'10", 165, but he covers a ton of ground, as we saw last half inning. That was not an easy catch towards the wall.
The 0-1, going to be low and outside for ball 1. Again, it's Wimpelberg on the mound for the big train. Behind the plate is Luke Vaughn. The 1-1 gonna be tad high, moving the count 2-1 on Sabater.
Apologies again if it sounds like we are under siege here at Montgomery Blair High School.
It's the 2-1. Gonna be tad low, moving the count 3-1 on Sabater. I was gonna say either someone's jumping down the bleachers or they dropped a ball that is now rolling down. The 3-1. That one in there for strike 2. Count moves full on Sabater.
Definitely a larger youth audience here at Montgomery Blair than we have seen the past couple of times we've been here.
I had to come out for the Nando's chicken. The full count. That one gonna be swung on and missed for strike 3 and out number 1. Part of the T-Bolts pregame ceremony was having the Nando's mascot throw the first pitch.
Shout out Nando's Peri Peri, a fine DMV establishment. I was very sad when they closed the Bethesda location a little while back, although luckily there is still one in Pike and Rose.
First offering to Steve Thomas, high for ball 1. Thomas recorded a base hit during his previous at-bat. Count 1-0 on the right fielder. 1 out on the board for the T-Bolts. The 1-0, that one's in there for strike 1.
Steve Thomas has got 16 hits on the season now, a home run and 13 RBIs.
The 1-1, that one in there for strike 2.
As we see Davin Whitaker over on the bench with the rest of his team in the field. Again, an uncommon occurrence so far this season. I wonder if he's bored.
That's the 1-2, gonna be swung on and missed for strike 3 and out number 2. Wimpelberg getting some quick work done from the mound. As now number 26, the first baseman Braden Foster stepping up to the plate. First offering to Foster, gonna be tad outside for ball 1.
Now Foster was also one of many contributors in Silver Spring Tacoma's 15-14 instant classic against the Crop Dusters on July 8th. Had a homer and 3 RBIs.
As the 1-0 gonna be fouled off over the big train dugout, moving the count even at 1.
That was his first home run since June 9th. A month ago from Tuesday.
The 1-1, that one popped into left field. Gonna drop foul. Bastian was ranging in to make the catch for out number 3. Couldn't get to it in time, just a step behind.
You don't often see Bastian unable to catch many fly balls that enter the airspace.
So the count 1-2 on Foster. Again, 2 outs on the board for the T-Bolts. The 1-2, that one gonna be in the dirt, moving the count even at 2 on Foster.
Foster also played in the All-Star game, went 2 for 2. Helping the North Division take a 5-3 victory over the South Division.
The 2-2, that one gonna be low and in the dirt, moving the count full on Foster.
Waiting on deck is the designated hitter, Ryan Quadros.
The 3-2, that one gonna be upstairs for ball 4. Foster gonna take his base. Now stepping up Ryan Quadros, the designated hitter for the T-Bolts.
Now Quadros has had a really great start to the summer, was a later addition to the T-Bolts. went 17 for his first 48. Just one digit away from a Fetty whopping in the hits at bats category.
First offering to Quadros, grounded over to Crosland. He flips it over to Wesley at first for out number 3. So the Big Train leave one stranded at first, protect their 2-1 lead. Looking to tack onto that when we return with the top of the 4th. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
Wait for me. Keep watching you when you leave. Something new. Keep hoping you feel this too. Holding on and on and on and on. Hoping I can get to know you better. Living in sweet suburbia. Some fun is all we want. Two kids come alive in a night rush. I'll be the girl next door. You be my summer crush. Yeah, I think you should come and pick me up. 'Cause nothing feels as good as summer love.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head in to the top of the 4th inning. T-Bolts sticking a new pitcher on the bump. It's going to be number 4, Ryan Mariani.
Rockville, Maryland's finest. Attended Thomas S. Wooten High School. Currently playing his college ball at Marymount University. So a Marylandian through and through. Looking to bounce back after he got roughed up against the Crop Dusters just a few days ago. Allowed 4 earned runs in just 2/3 of an inning.
First offering to Crosland. Going to be low and outside for ball 1. Again, Big Train still leading 2-1. Neither team has scored since the first inning. Big Train looking to tack on some insurance runs as the 1-0 going to be outside for ball 2.
Mariani has obviously seen better days. I'd say his best outing came against the Braves back on June 16th.
2-0 going to be upstairs for ball 3.
Pitched 7 full innings, allowed just 3 earned runs in a 5-3 victory for Silver Spring Tacoma. Rarely see pitchers in this league go that long in games.
The 3-0 in there for strike 1.
Although that was the last time he went more than 2 full innings.
The 3-1, that one popped high and foul, moving the count full on Crosland.
And waiting on deck is local fire station destroyer Matthew Wesley.
He's wearing some Virginia Tech gloves. Go Hokies. Full count. That one popped high, ranging under it was first baseman Foster, but it's going to land foul and out of play in the T-Bolt bullpen.
I've probably asked you this at some point this season. Does Virginia Tech have a saying like USC, Southern California's Fight On, University of Missouri's MIZ? Does Virginia Tech have one? Or is it just Go Hokies?
You kind of combine it as the full count going to be grounded into the glove of Curry at third. He'll send it down to Foster at first to record out number 1. You kind of combine them. So instead of Go Hokies, you say Gokies.
Gokies.
Gokies, yes. And what's a Hokie? And then you respond with I am.
Is what's a Hokie supposed to be? Was that first derived from an insult, and then people were like, you know what, this actually shouldn't be a rhetorical question, and we should answer this to stand up for ourselves?
I'm not sure what the origins of that is. I know that that's what you respond with. First offering a Matthew Wesley is low and outside for ball 1. There's also, obviously let's go, and then you respond Hokies. The 1-0, that one popped high and foul, moving the count even at 1 on Wesley.
That just sounds kind of demeaning, I feel like you're just trying to stand up for yourself.
No, it's pride. You are a Hokie. Hokie Nation is alive and well, and you're a Hokie past your 4 years. The 1-1 gonna be grounded through the whole base hit for Matthew Wesley.
No fire stations were harmed in the making of that base hit.
Now stepping up to the plate, third baseman Justin Nadeau. Been having quite the evening. Kicked things off with a base hit, followed it up with a double. Looking for some similar success from the plate. Again, 1 out on the board for the big train, 1 runner at first in Matthew Wesley. As Wesley going to be chased back to first.
Now, unless we have a crazy reversal of circumstance, this is not the kind of game the T-Bolts have been accustomed to playing. They've usually been involved in high-scoring firework fests.
And it's the first offering to Nadeau, going to be low and outside for ball 1.
Some final scores of theirs this season: 15-14, 12-11, 18-10, and my favorite, 21-13. That was a loss they were dealt against the Aces back on June 27th.
As the 1-0 lined through the hole past shortstop Erd. Wesley gonna charge for third, and Nadeau his second double of the evening, back to back, putting runs 3 and 4 in scoring position as Andrew Williamson gonna step up to the plate.
I think we need to get Josh Erd an Ultimate Frisbee tryout with Truck Stop, arguably the best club Ultimate Frisbee team in the entire nation, but his layouts have been textbook. Unfortunately, not able to get a glove on that one there. A really nice hit from Nadeau, setting up Andrew Williamson really nicely. 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out.
First offering to Williamson, in there for strike 1. Now we've mentioned Williamson, one of the most powerful bats from the Big Train lineup, has reached base at least once during every game that he has played so far this summer. The 0-1, that one fouled off, moving the count 0-2 on Williamson. The 0-2, that one gonna be grounded to Kim at second. He throws it over to Foster for out number 2, but not before Matthew Wesley gonna scratch across the 3rd run for the Big Train, extending their lead to 2 runs. And Nadeau reaching 3rd as shortstop Kenan Bowman takes to the plate. First offering to Bowman, in there for strike 1.
Curious to see if Mariani tries Bowman with anything higher inside.
The 0-1. That one's fouled off down the third base line.
But two very similar pitches there, two off speeds, curving low and away.
So the count 0-2 on Bowman. Again, it's 2 outs on the board for the Big Train, who still have a runner on third in Justin Nato. The 0-2 outside for ball 1. Again, Nato recently transferred from Jacksonville to University of Florida. The 1-2. That one's going to be swung on and missed for strike 3 and out number 3. But the Big Train scratch across one more to extend their lead 3-1 over the T-Bolts. Stay tuned as we head into the bottom of the 4th. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head in to the bottom of the 4th inning. Big Train tack on one more to extend their lead to 2 runs.
Now a quick update from around the Ripken League. The Senators and Aces scoreless in the bottom of the 6th at Frank Mann Field in Alexandria. The Crop Dusters leading the Giants 3-0 in Gaithersburg in the top of the 3rd. That could prove to be a very big deal for the Big Train. And over in South County High School, the Grays lead the Braves 2-1 in the top of the 4th.
As the first offering to catcher Jack McCarthy, going to be swung on and missed for strike 1.
A Big Train win and a Giants loss would pull Bethesda within 3 games of Gaithersburg for the North Division lead.
As the 0-1, going to be in there for strike 2.
The Big Train and the Giants also face off once more before the end of the regular season back at Shirley Povich Field this coming Saturday.
As the 0-2 fouled off down the right field line.
That is going to be a celebration of Latin baseball at Shirley Povich Field. Definitely looking forward to that.
The 0-2. Going to be upstairs for ball 1.
And speaking of Saturday, Big Train players and interns will be going out into the Maryland community for a Roberto Clemente Day of Service.
The 1-2 going to be popped high, and it's going to drop in right center field for a base hit. So McCarthy fighting back from the 0-2 hole. Responds with a base hit to put a runner on first for number 20, the 3rd baseman, Bryce Curry. Again, until the Big Train scratched across one in the top of the 4th, neither team had scored since the 1st inning. T-Bolts now have a runner on first, no outs on the board. First offering to Curry, gonna be grounded to Bowman, flips it over to Crosland at second, who's gonna send it to Wesley at first, but it's not gonna get there in time. Wesley unable to keep his foot on the bag and make the catch.
Wesley unfortunately couldn't make the scoop there. That was a tough throw to handle from Crosland, although a nice clean play from Bowman to get the out at second, as that will bring up the left fielder, John Dunyan.
Dunyan recorded a double during his first at-bat this evening. One out on the board for the T-Bolts. One runner on first in Bryce Curry. As Curry gonna be chased back to first.
Dunyan, a native of Wilmington, part of the first state, the great state of Delaware.
First offering to Dunyan. Gonna be swung on and missed for strike one.
Went 0 for 2 in the All-Star game a couple of days ago.
As Curry gonna be chased back to first. The 0-1 to Dunyan. That one's grounded down the left field line. Stays fair past third base, and with that, Curry gonna reach third. Dunyan with his second double of the evening. Having an electric night from the plate. As number 1, Matthew Kim, gonna step up to the plate. Now has runners in scoring position at second and third. One out on the board. The tying run represented by Dunyan at second.
Kim looking for his first hit since June 16th. A 5-3 victory over the Braves. Kim having a couple of RBIs in that game.
First offering to Kim, gonna be grounded to Nato at third, sends it to Wesley at first. That's gonna record out number 2. Runners still aboard second and third. For the top of the order, number 7, Josh Erd. Shortstop for the T-Bolts has yet to reach base this evening.
Josh Erd, the first T-Bolt to cross 100 at-bats on the season.
First offering to Erd. That one low for ball 1. The 1-0. That one upstairs for ball 2. So they count 2-0 on Erd again. Dunyan represents the tying run for the T-Bolts at second. The 2-0. That one gonna be low and outside for ball 3. Gonna have a quick mound visit between catcher Luke Vaughn and pitcher Joey Wimpelberg.
Getting another look at Whitaker in the dugout. I wonder if he came in tonight with a plan of how he wanted to spend all of this uncommon free time. Talking to catcher Nick DeLisi.
I'm sure he'd rather be playing Mafia in the bullpen with the other pitchers. As the 3-0 gonna be upstairs for ball 4. Erd gonna take his base, loading them up for Jeff Sabater. Sabater struck out at the plate during his previous at-bat.
As we're going to have a mound visit here from Coach Craig Lopez. As we see a little bit of action in the Big Train bullpen.
So again, the T-Bolts now have the bases loaded. The tying run at second in John Dunyan thanks to a double. And the go-ahead now at first as Josh Erd was walked during his at-bat.
Jeff Sabater about to step up to the plate. 0 for 2 so far tonight. Struck out in his last at-bat. An uncharacteristic strikeout, just his 11th of the summer.
Looks like Wimpelberg gonna stay on the mound for the Big Train. And that'll conclude the mound visit. So Sabater gonna step into the batter's box again. Bases loaded for the T-Bolts. Currently trailing by 2 runs. First offering to Sabater, gonna be in the dirt for ball 1. An excellent block from catcher Luke Vaughn to keep the ball in front of him. Count moves 1-0 on Sabater. Again, 2 outs on the board for the T-Bolts, who have bases loaded. The 1-0. That one fouled off into the backstop for strike 1.
The ants go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. Thanks to whoever was stepping on the bleachers there for providing the background music there.
As the 1-1 gonna be fouled off into the backstop, moving the count 1-2 on Sabater. Again, 2 outs on the board for the T-Bolts, who have the bases loaded.
What's funny is that I'm not 100% sure the viewers at home could hear the stepping, so they easily could have just heard me sing the first part of that song without any context whatsoever.
The 1-2. That one outside for ball 2. Count moves even on Sabater. The 2-2. That one popped high over the head of Wimpelberg. With that, it's going to record out number 3. Joey Wimpelberg and fielding squad moving themselves out of a jam, protect their 2-run lead. Stay tuned as we head into the top of the 5th inning. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
Meet me in the corner alone. 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 Boogie, boogie down. Baby, can you boogie down?
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the top of the 5th inning. Big Train still leading 3-1 after scratching across one in the top of the 4th and moving themselves out of quite the jam. Sabater lined one up the middle. Crosland flipped it over to get the final out to end the half inning. As the first offering to Whitaker. Gonna be low and outside for ball 1. 1-0, lined down right center field. That's gonna drop for a base hit. Whitaker aboard first. He has now reached base on all 3 at-bats this evening. Kicked off his evening with a base hit. During his second at-bat, laid down a successful bunt. Now Chris Diaz stepping up to the plate, had a base hit during his previous at-bat, looking for some similar success at the plate. First offering to Diaz, and there for strike 1.
Diaz 0 for 2 so far.
As Whitaker going to be chased back to first.
Now another big update in the Ripken League. The Crop Dusters have extended their lead over the Giants to 6-0 in the top of the 4th inning. Definitely a result worth monitoring.
As the 0-1 going to be fouled off over the Big Train dugout. Count going to move 0-2 on Diaz.
The Grays also extending their lead over the Braves to 3-1. That game at South County High School in the bottom of the 5th. Both of those teams jockeying for a wild card spot.
The 0-2, Allen's outside for ball 1. Whitaker still safely aboard first. No outs on the board for the Big Train. Whitaker going to be chased back to first.
Now, what's funny about what I said earlier regarding the Big Train trying to make up their deficit in the standings for the North Division lead to the Giants, it was 4 games entering tonight.
As the 1-2 going to be in there for strike 3. So Diaz sent down looking. Whitaker still aboard first as catcher Luke Vaughn going to step up to the plate.
That is actually the same exact deficit, or I guess the same exact amount of games that separate the Big Train and the T-Bolts, who are currently tied with the Braves for last place in the league. So there are still a lot of possibilities as we enter the last week of the regular season.
First offering to Vaughn going to be low and outside. Throw from McCarthy over to Foster at first to try and tag out Whitaker, unsuccessful.
Now it would have to take a lot for either the Braves or the T-Bolts to rocket all the way up to hosting a potential play-in game.
The 0-1 to Vaughn. Allen in there for strike 2.
But as the great Kevin Garnett once said, anything is possible. As have probably a lot of other people throughout the history of the world, but he said it in the coolest way, so he's the first person I think of regarding that quote.
The 0-2 to Vaughn. Allen going to be low for ball 1. Whitaker still aboard first, 1 out on the board for the Big Train.
Waiting on deck is Jaden Bastion.
Bastion was walked during his first at-bat of the evening as Whitaker going to be chased back to first. The 1-2 to Vaughn. That one popped high. And it's going to land out of play. So the count's still 1-2 on Vaughn. Again, Whitaker aboard first. 1 out on the board for the Big Train, who are currently leading by 2.
Once again, if the playoffs had started today, the Big Train would be the 3 seed hosting the 6-seeded Grays in a 1-game play-in. The winner of that game would likely go on to play the Giants.
As the 1-2 going to be popped high and foul.
Now, if the Big Train won that game, they would be playing the Giants starting in Gaithersburg. If the Grays were to pull a hypothetical upset, they would travel to Alexandria, as the lowest seed will travel to the top seed's home field for the first game of the semifinals.
As the 1-2 going to be in the dirt, moving the count even on Vaughn. The 2-2. That one grounded foul down the third base line.
Third base coach Galvin Morris so close, yet so far from making that barehanded snare. I just hope he doesn't get Tommy Lasorda and just tumbles over onto his backside as the result of a foul ball down the third base line.
Whitaker going to be chased back to first. Count still 2-2 on Vaughn. Again, it's 1 out on the board for the Big Train. The 2-2. That one going to be lined into right field. And Thomas unable to get to it as it rolls into the corner. Whitaker going to stop at third. It's a double for Luke Vaughn as Jaden Bashan gonna take to the plate.
Now Galvin Morris, the third base coach, initially was telling Whitaker to go, but eventually changed to stop. A good idea. I thought Whitaker might be able to make it home, but a great job by Thomas to corral that one and throw it back into the infield in time to hold Whitaker at third.
An excellent diving attempt. Unfortunately, looks like he dove into it a second too early, wasn't able to get a catch on it. With that, Big Train has runners on second and third. 1 out on the board. Jaden Bastion at the plate. First offering. That one's in there for strike 1.
So a big opportunity here for some insurance. Whether it's Wimpelberg, who hypothetically could be taking the bump for another inning of work, or if he is relieved.
As the 1-0 gonna be fouled off. Sorry, looks like it hit Bastion on the forearm, so he's gonna walk out to first. That's gonna load the bases for Jordan Crosland. So that's the second hit by pitch of the evening. Big Train, with only 1 out on the board, now has bases loaded for Jordan Crosland. An excellent chance for the Big Train to record some insurance runs. As you've mentioned during the pregame show, we've seen the Big Train put runs up early and then the bats go cold, giving their opponents the chance to strike later in the evening. First offering to Crosland, gonna be outside, gets away from McCarthy. Whitaker gonna run in, run number 4 for the Big Train.
That one actually got stuck in the netting here, got stuck between the netting and the padding at the backstop here at Montgomery Blair High School. So all runners advancing. Vaughn now at third, Bastion now at second.
Again, only 1 out on the board for the Big Train. Crosland facing a 1-0 count. The 1-0. That one just a tad too low.
Really,
for ball
really
2.
good take by Crosland there. That's a pitch we've seen both Wimpelberg and Mariani, as well as John Carver, to start this game.
The 2-0. Allen in the dirt.
Jay Wandell as well. Try that off speed. Tailing Lowen outside. They've been really working the borderline. Just a great take by Crosland, who now sits comfortably at 3-0 with Matthew Wesley waiting on deck, as we're going to have a mound visit here.
Mound visit between McCarthy and Mariani. Again, Crosland facing a hitter's count. 1 out on the board for the Big Train. Runners on second and third have already extended their lead to 3. Looks like we're going to see a conclusion of the mound visit here. Looks like the sun is just starting to set. The sky turning shades of pink and blue. It's very pretty. The 3-0. Allen's in there for strike 1.
I will say it is nice to see pink clouds on a blue backdrop. Do you think the sky's having a boy or a girl?
Gender reveal. I want to see how the pictures turn out as the 3-1. Gonna be outside for ball 4. That's gonna load him up for the second time in this half inning as Matthew Wesley steps up to the plate. I would love to see how the pictures from our photographer Esther turn out. You can catch them on our Instagram page at GoBigTrain.
Esther Francis has been hard at work all year long. My personal favorite picture was the one she got of Jonathan Stevens during the night that there were fireworks at Shirley Povich Field, with fireworks in the backdrop. That was cool.
As a first offering to Wesley, gonna be grounded to shortstop Erd. And he'll flip it over to Foster to record out number 2. Vaughn scratches across the plate. That's gonna record the 5th run of the evening for the Big Train. Runners advance. Crosland now at second, Bastian at third, as Justin Nadeau steps up to the plate. Nadeau been having one heck of a night. Recorded a base hit, followed up with back-to-back doubles. So it looks like we're seeing another mound visit over to Ryan Mariani. Can see some action over in the T-Bolts bullpen.
Now Mariani isn't a stranger to turbulence. Again, plays his college ball at Marymount University, which is about a 10-minute drive from Ronald Reagan Airport. Hopefully.
Oh, I just got it.
Yes, airplanes.
So 2 outs on the board for the Big Train. Runners on second and third. Nadeau at the plate. He'll chop at the first offering, gonna foul it over the Big Train dugout.
I couldn't see who that was over the Big Train bullpen that tried to hustle after that. I think that was Evan Hart. Might have been Evan Hart down there going after that fly ball. Always love the hustle even when they're not involved in the action on the field.
The 0-1. That one popped high into left center field, and it's gonna drop for a base hit. Bastian dancing across the plate. Crosland's gonna run in. Nadeau, his 3rd double of the evening. What a night for one of the newest additions to the Big Train squad. Now stepping up to the plate, the birthday boy, someone who likes to pay their rent over at second base. It's Andrew Williamson.
Now perhaps a reason why Williamson hasn't performed as well tonight as he has most nights is that Justin Nadeau is stealing all of his thunder. Usually it's been Williamson hitting stand-up doubles into left center field. That's been Nadeau multiple times tonight.
First offering to Williamson, going to be low and outside for ball 1.
Another update from the Ripken lead. The Crop Dusters now leading the Giants 9-0 in the top of the 5th inning. Also, the Aces have broken the scoreless tie with the Senators. They now lead 2-0 in the top of the 8th.
As the 1-0 going to be swung on and missed. Count moves 1-1 on Williamson. Again, 2 outs on the board for the Big Train.
Grace.
Nadeau at second.
Gray still leading 3-1 over the Braves. That game now in the bottom of the 6th at South County High School.
The 1-1. That one outside for ball 2. The 2-1. That one's going to land in the dirt. Nadeau takes off for third. The throw from catcher McCarthy over to Curry at third. Not in time. Curry launching into the air to make the catch.
Curry's showing off some Jonathan Kuminga-esque hops right there. I think he jumped at least. Actually, I have no idea how he jumped exactly, but that was really high. And I think if it were most other T-Bolt position players, I think that ball was getting into left field, and Nadeau was scoring.
They count 3-1 on Williamson. The 3-1 is going to land in the dirt. Williamson takes his base at first. So that's the first time Williamson has reached base so far this evening, continuing his stretch of reaching base at least once during every game he's played with the Big Train this summer. So runners on the corners for shortstop Kenan Bowman. 2 outs on the board for the Big Train, who are now leading 7-1.
Now, apologies for a very quick second score update of the half inning. The Senators have now tied the Aces at 2 in the bottom of the 8th. The Giants have gotten one back against the Crop Dusters. They now trail 9-1.
As the first offering to Bowman going to be swung on and missed for strike 1.
Again, a Crop Dusters win as well as a Big Train win would decrease the North Division lead for Gaithersburg to just 3.
It's Williamson chased back to first. The 0-1 to Bowman. That one's going to be outside for ball 1.
Also, these games for Gaithersburg and Alexandria especially important, as that has become a battle for the 1 seed in the Ripken League. Both teams entering tonight 20 wins and 10 losses.
The 1-1 going to be low for ball 2. Count 2-1 on Bowman. 2 outs on the board for the Big Train. Williamson at first, Nadeau at third. The 2-1. That one grounded down the third base line. Curry makes the throw over to Foster to record out number 3. So the Big Train put up a 4 spot, bringing their lead 7-1. Looking to protect that from the field when we return. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the bottom of the 5th inning. Big Train putting up a 4 spot in the top of the 5th. Talk about insurance. Getting progressive from the plate. First offering to Steve Thomas. Swung on and missed for strike 1.
Now the Crop Dusters get that run back. They lead 10-1 now in the top of the 6th.
As the 0-1 going to be outside for ball 1.
The Braves also tying the Grays at 3. That game in the bottom of the 7th.
The 1-1 going to be low and outside for ball 2. It's a new pitcher on the mound for the Big Train. Going to be number 34, Evan Hart.
This is his 4th appearance of the summer. Has allowed 5 earned runs in just under 10 innings pitched.
The 2-0 going to be straight to the backstop for ball 3.
That one high and away.
So the count 3-1 on Thomas. The 3-1. That one going to be just outside for ball 4. Thomas will take his base. That's going to send up number 26, Braden Foster. Foster was walked during his previous at-bat. First offering to Foster, going to be in the dirt. Thomas going to advance to second.
As we're going to have a quick visit between Hart and Luke Vaughn at the mound. Night starting to fall here at Montgomery Blair High School. Beautiful Montgomery Blair High School, home of the Blazers.
As well as the Blair Pig buried behind right field. Count 1-0 on Foster. The 1-0 gonna nail him in the shoulder there. He's gonna take his base at first. Again, Thomas aboard second.
Now we're gonna have a mound visit here with Hart from Coach Craig Lopez. Now, to your point about the Blair Pig, that's a funny sentence.
As our assistant GM has just brought us some
We just got free
serve.
soft serve ice cream. This is so awesome. Oh my goodness, this night has gotten so much better. Wow. Oh my goodness.
I'm a huge fan of soft serve, and it's the chocolate and vanilla swirl. I'm so excited now. So it looks like we're going to see a conclusion of the mound visit to Evan Hart. I don't remember where your sentence started. I got distracted by the soft serve.
I said, to your point about the Blair Pig, that's a sentence. We'll save it for after this pitch. Hart looks ready to throw.
It's DH Ryan Quadros at the plate, first offering. Going to be tad outside for ball 1.
Do you know what happens if somebody hits a baseball off of the target that says Blair Pig, hit it here?
No, I don't. I was trying to figure out the lore behind the Blair Pig sign the last time we were here. As the 1-0 going to be outside for ball 2.
Doing some on-air research, you were, Silver Chips, the student newspaper of Montgomery Blair High School.
What happens when they hit the target?
We didn't find out. I'm curious to see what does happen, though.
Oh, I thought you had the answer. I'm so excited.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to leave you all on a cliffhanger. I apologize.
2-0 gonna bounce in the dirt. It's gonna bring the count 3-0 on Quadros again. T-Bolts have runners on first and second, trying to respond to the 4th spot the Big Train put up in the top of the 5th.
Just wanted to say thank you for whoever just provided us free soft serve ice cream. A big thank you.
As the 3-0 gonna be out in there for strike 1. Umpire rules it a strike. Quadros was prepared to walk out to first.
Again, it's always great to pay attention to the people that actually have the authority to make a call versus the ones who do not. Now that makes both of us who have been caught by that.
The 3-1. That one's going to be outside for ball 4. Quadros tosses the bat as he loads the bases. For Jack McCarthy, the catcher. McCarthy recorded a base hit during his previous at-bat. So again, bases loaded. T-Bolts looking to respond to the 4 spot Big Train put up in the top of the 5th, which brought their lead to 6. First offering to McCarthy, going to be outside for ball 1. The 1-0. That one fouled off down the right field line, landing in the bushes. Going to bring the count even at 1 on McCarthy.
Now, in Hart's past 2 appearances, he's gone 4 full innings. Curious to see if he is able to get out of this one, or if he isn't, if he goes that long.
As the 1-1 going to be upstairs for ball 2. So they count 2-1 on McCarthy. No outs on the board for the T-Bolts, who have bases loaded. As the 2-1 going to be in there for strike 2. Count moves even on McCarthy.
Cole Constable, I will say, so far this season, not starting tonight, has had really good frames, especially on borderline pitches. Luke Vaughn, very good at framing as well. Did so on that pitch. I definitely think that helped work this count to 2-2.
As the 2-2 going to be swung on and missed. That's going to be strike 3 and out number 1 for the T-Bolts. Bases still loaded as number 20, Bryce Curry, steps up to the plate. A big out for pitcher Evan Hart. Again, bases loaded for the T-Bolts. Now 1 out on the board. Now the T-Bolts have not scored since the bottom of the 1st. Hart looking to keep it that way as Curry fouls the first offering into the backstop for strike 1.
Curry has absolutely bounced back from a rough start to the season, has looked a lot better as of late.
The 0-1, that one gonna be swung on and missed for strike 2.
Hart finding a lot of success with the fastball. Looks a little like Max Martzoff that tails away from righties.
The 0-2, that one fouled off into the T-Bolts dugout. Curry gonna stay alive to face the 0-2 count again.
And I think I mentioned this the last time Hart pitched, but both him and Martzoff have very similar launch angles, both about 3/4 of the way.
The 0-2, that one gonna be popped high and foul in left field. It's gonna land out of play. So Curry, once again, staying alive to face the 0-2 count.
Curry sent that one way downtown. Unfortunately, it was foul, so no positive bang there for the T-Bolts.
The 0-2, that one gonna be outside. Moves the count to 1-2 on Curry.
And it looks like in the Big Train bullpen, Aaron Seniceros getting warm.
The 1-2, that one popped high and foul, again out of play. Curry gonna extend this at bat. He's extended this at bat for quite a long time, and my soft serve is starting to melt.
Better hope Evan Hart starts to work a little faster.
As Curry fouls that offering off.
Meanwhile, our producer Jordan Parham's well over halfway through his soft serve. Good for him. Good for him.
I guess melted soft serve is a small price to pay for Hart to maintain a 6-run lead.
Unless you want to have the first ever Big Train Broadcast Network mukbang. I don't think we should do that. I don't think anyone in the future should do that.
I think executive producer Harrison Myers would be very upset if we got soft serve all over his mics. As the 1-2 is in there for strike 3 and out number 2. A great response from Evan Hart.
And a great pitch. He had been trying to work the outside part of the zone during that at bat to Bryce Curry, but got him frozen on an inside fastball.
Frozen, our soft serve is not at the moment. I think he heard us. I think he knew.
You better hope Evan Hart gets through this at bat quickly.
Josh Dunyan at the plate now has recorded back-to-back doubles. First offering. Going to be outside for ball 1. Count 1-0 on Dunyan. The 1-0. That one swung on and missed for strike 1.
I will say every Big Train pitcher has mustard on their fastball. Evan Hart's got a little extra.
Maybe some spicy mustard. The 1-1 going to be fouled off for strike 2. So they count 1-2 on Dunyan. 2 outs on the board for the T-Bolts, who have bases loaded. Again, have not scored since the bottom of the first. Currently trailing by 6 runs. The 1-2. That one popped high into center field. Under it, Williamson.
We get to eat soft serve.
Williamson, the birthday boy, makes the catch for out number 3. Big Train leaving them loaded, and as you said, now we get to enjoy our soft serve. We'll be back with the top of the 6th when we return. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the top of the 6th inning. Got down a couple of bites of that soft serve. Happy birthday, Andrew Williamson. Made the catch in center field for the final out. Big Train has now held the T-Bolt scoreless for 4 innings consecutively, have now put a new pitcher on the bump, number 42, Christian Bonilla, as designated hitter Davin Whitaker going to step up to the plate, has reached base on all 3 at-bats so far this evening. Had a pair of base hits, laid down a very successful bunt. First offering to Whitaker, going to be outside for ball 1.
Now, Bonilla's had a little bit of a bumpy summer. A 9.0 ERA in 22 innings pitched.
As the 1-0, going to be low, but in there for strike 1. Check swing from Whitaker.
Had a slightly frustrating outing the last time he was on the bump in that game against the Crop Dusters. Allowed 5 runs. None of them were earned.
As the 1-1, going to be swung on and missed by Whitaker, moving the count 1-2. The 1-2, that one is grounded, gonna launch over the mound. Whitaker gonna hold up at first.
It's up and it's good. Davin Whitaker splitting the infield like a pair of uprights.
Just was grounded directly to the mound, was lifted up into the air, as you said. So Davin Whitaker reaching base for the 4th time this evening. Now up at the plate, gonna be Christopher Diaz. First offering, gonna be swung on and missed for strike 1.
Now, although Bonilla hasn't had the summer he probably would have liked to have had up to this point, he's one of those guys that probably just wanted to play just 3 1/3 innings pitched last season for Frostburg State.
The 0-1, that one swung on and, fouled off into the catcher for strike 2.
And a couple of mean fastballs here to Diaz. Has him in an 0-2 hole.
Again, Whitaker aboard first. No outs on the board for the Big Train, who are currently leading 7-1. The 0-2, that one gonna be in there for strike 3. Diaz sent down looking as catcher Luke Vaughn gonna step up to the plate, recorded a double during his previous at-bat.
And eventually came around to score as part of that 4-run top of the 5th inning.
First offering to Vaughn, in there for strike 1. The 0-1, Vaughn lays down a bunt. It's gonna land foul. So the count moves 0-2 on Vaughn. Whitaker gonna have to track back over to first.
That's a pretty uncommon situation for the Big Train to bunt based off of what we've seen this season. Just 1 runner on first and 1 out. But it looks like Vaughn's gonna have to swing away down 0-2.
The 0-2, that one gonna be outside for ball 1. The 1-2 from Bonilla gonna be low and outside, moving the count even on Vaughn. Whitaker still aboard first. 1 out on the board for the Big Train. The 2-2, that one gonna be fouled off. So Vaughn gonna stay alive to face the 2-2 count for a 2nd time. The 2-2. That one's in there for strike 3. So that's going to record out number 2 as Vaughn is sent down looking. Now stepping up to the plate, the left fielder, Jaden Bastion, was hit by the pitch during his previous at-bat.
And on deck, it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter in Jack Guerrero.
First off to Bastion. Going to be swung on and missed.
I would love to say I didn't flinch there.
Went
But
flying into the netting.
I flinched extremely hard, as did, I believe, all 3 of us there.
Count 0-1 on Bastion. Runner goes. McCarthy sends the throw over to Kim, but is offline. So Whitaker successfully stealing second base. 2 outs on the board for the big train. Bastion facing an 0-1 count.
There was one time the Los Angeles Lakers were playing the Orlando Magic, and Matt Barnes, who was on the Magic at the time, was taking the ball out of bounds and faked a pass right at the face of Kobe Bryant, who did not move. I wish I emulated that, but I emulated just the opposite. But
Bastion
that was exactly what all 3 of us just did right there, what Bastion just did.
was nearly hit by the pitch again, ducking out of the way. Count moves 2-1, sailed just over his left shoulder.
But Bastion actually having good reason to get out of the way. We are very much protected by strong netting.
The 2-1 gonna be outside for ball 3. Count moves 3-1 on Bastion. 2 outs on the board for the big train. Whitaker with the 8th potential run in scoring position at second. The 3-1. That one popped high, ranging into right field. Under it with the catch, and out number 3 is going to be Steve Thomas. So the big train leave one stranded at second, still leading 7-1. Stay tuned as we head into the bottom of the 6th. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Come back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the bottom of the 6th inning. Big Train putting a new pitcher on the bump. It's going to be number 15, Aaron Ceniceros. Up at the plate, going to be number 1, Matthew Kim as the first offering. Going to be low for ball 1.
Now, Ceniceros has bounced back after a bumpy start to the season. Has allowed just 2 hits in his last 2 appearances.
As the 1-0, going to be low for ball 2.
Enters tonight. This is going to be his 8th appearance for the Big Train. Has allowed a 7.07 ERA in exactly 14 innings pitched.
The 2-0. That one in there for strike 1. Just painting the bottom corner. Count 2-1 on Kim. The 2-1. That one high. Did the check swing? Did he go around? He did. Count moves even at 2 on Kim. The 2-2, that one popped high into left field. Bastian dives for it, makes the catch. What a catch from Jaden Bastian, a quite literal diving and rolling effort. But he comes up with the catch for out number 1.
Great catch by Jaden Bastian. Matthew Kim cannot catch a break. That was a well-hit ball into a part of the park where Jaden Bastian was unable to get to one earlier in the game. I'm not sure most left fielders in the Ripken League are getting to that one. Wow, I am impressed.
Right to the left field corner, but Bastian makes it there in time. First offering to Erd. Gonna be swung on and missed for strike 1. The 0-1. That one fouled off over the T-Bolts dugout for strike 2. The 0-2. That one. It's going to be swung on and missed for strike 3. That's going to record out number 2 for the T-Bolts.
AC looking cool as a cucumber.
Making quick work of the T-Bolts batters as number 38, Jeff Sabater, going to step up to the plate. As the first offering to Sabater grounded over to first base. Matthew Wesley scoops it up but unable to make the tag at first, so Sabater safely aboard first.
That was a swinging bunt from Sabater down the first base line. You may as well book that as a base hit, the second that comes off his bat. And that was put in a place where neither the first baseman Wesley nor Ceniceros could really have a play on the ball until it was too late.
Steve Thomas now at the plate for the T-Bolts. 2 outs on the board, a runner on first. First offering, gonna be in there for strike 1.
Now we just got gifted quarters from our assistant general manager, Patrick Chapman. Mine is from 2023. Wow, a more recent one. Let me put a flashlight on yours. That is upside down.
Sorry.
Also 2023.
Runner goes to second. Vaughn guns him down, but not in time. Sabater speeding across the base path, kicking up a cloud of dust behind him. Safely aboard second. Thomas facing an 0-1 count with 2 outs on the board.
That is his second stolen base of the night. That'll be 19 on the season now for Sabater, trailing Quincy Villa by just 3 now for the team lead.
1-1 to Thomas. In there for strike 2. So the count 1-2 on Thomas. Sabater aboard second. 2 outs on the board for the T-Bolts. Ooh. As the 1-2 gonna land in the dirt. Check swing. Looks like it knocked him in the elbow, so Thomas gonna take his base at first. Runners now on first and second, sending up number 26 Braden Foster to the plate. Foster was hit by the pitch during his previous at-bat. Again, T-Bolts have not scored since the bottom of the first. Still looking to respond to the 4-spot Big Train put up in the top of the 5th, which gave them a 6-run lead, as Ceniceros gonna chase Sabater back over to second. First offering to Foster. Allen gonna be grounded foul down the first base line. So runners advance, but gonna have to track back to second and first.
Now Foster has reached base twice tonight. Has had a really solid season up to this point, hitting St. Patrick's Day in the batting average department, also known as 317.
First offering to Foster, swung on and missed. So the count 0-2 on Foster. Again, 2 outs on the board for the T-Bolts, who have runners at first and second. The 0-2. Allen in there for strike 3, and that's going to be out number 3. So Ceniceros leaves them stranded at first and second, holds them scoreless for the 5th consecutive inning. We're going to be right back with the top of the 7th when we return. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head in to the top of the 7th inning. Still Christian Bonilla on the bump for the T-Bolts. At the plate, pinch hitter Jack Guerrero. First offering to Guerrero is in there for strike 1. The 0-1 in there for strike 2.
Guerrero hitting exactly 200 Entering tonight, 12 hits, 8 RBIs.
As the 0-2, that one popped high into right center field. It's gonna drop at the wall. Guerrero ranging for second. So a double from pinch hitter Jack Guerrero. What a start. Now stepping up to the plate, gonna be the 9 hitter Matthew Wesley.
That is Guerrero's first extra base hit since June 17th. A really well hit one all the way into the right center field gap. Actually, that one on June 17th, his only other extra base hit of the season.
First offering to Wesley, gonna be in there for strike 1. What a way to come back from an 0-2 hole.
And if he can start becoming a more consistent bat, that's going to open up a world of possibilities for the big train come playoff time.
As the 0-1, gonna be low for ball 1.
We've talked a lot about how the most dangerous offenses in this league, I'm going to name Alexandria and Silver Spring Tacoma as 2 that come to mind. 1 through 9, all strong. If the big train are able to achieve that, they will be in really good shape.
1-1 gonna bounce in the dirt, gets away from catcher McCarthy. With that, Guerrero gonna advance to third.
And they are pretty strong at the bottom of the lineup already. I mean, Matthew Wesley, again, hit one off the fire station earlier today in batting practice and has multiple home runs on the season.
Wesley sitting at a 2-1 count. Again, it's Guerrero at third. The 2-1. That one fouled off for strike 2.
That one, a ton of movement in the last about 1/10 of a second. Looked like it wasn't going to move until right when it crossed the plate. Great job by Wesley of fouling that one off.
As the 2-2, that one's gonna land in the dirt. Wesley charges for first, but is thrown out by catcher McCarthy. So 1 out on the board for the big train. Guerrero still at first as the top of the order. Justin Nadeau steps up to the plate. Again, Nadeau has reached base at every at-bat tonight, recorded 3 doubles. First offering to Nadeau, gonna be chopped foul down the first base line. Guerrero gonna have to track back over to third. Count 0-1 on Nadeau. The 0-1, that one's outside for ball 1.
Now a score update from South County. The Braves have taken a 5-3 lead over the Grays in the bottom of the 8th. Big wild card implications on that game.
The 1-1, looks like it was outside for ball 2.
The Senators and Aces still tied at 2 in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Crop Dusters still ahead 10-1 over the Giants in the bottom of the 7th.
The 2-1, that one in there for strike 2. So the count even at 2 on Nadeau. Guerrero aboard third, 1 out on the board for the big train. The 2-2, that one's gonna be swung on and missed for strike 3 and out number 2 for the big train. That's gonna send up center fielder Andrew Williamson. Again, was walked during his previous at-bat. Guerrero still aboard third with the big train's potential 8th run.
That strikeout from Nadeau, the only blemish on what has been a fantastic night for the future Florida Gator.
First offering to Williamson outside for ball 1.
Now it'll be a fellow Floridian looking to score the 8th run of the game for the Big Train.
As the 1-0 going to be low and outside for ball 2.
Or if he gets a hold of 1, 8 and 9 as well. Williamson just 1 home run behind the league leader, Carter Groen, whose bat has been almost equally as on fire as Williamson's.
As he's going to swing and miss on the 2-0, bringing the count 2-1.
Now Carter Groen gonna be playing his college ball at the University of Connecticut, transferring after 1 great year at Iona.
2-1 in there for strike 3. Sorry, strike 2. Count moves even on Williamson. 2 outs on the board. The 2-2. Allen gonna be grounded to shortstop. Erd tosses it over to Foster for out number 3. So the Big Train held scoreless but still leading 7-1. Looking to protect that lead when we return with the bottom of the 7th. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the bottom of the 7th inning. Again, it's Ceniceros on the bump for the Big Train, who are currently leading 7-1. Kicking things off for the T-Bolts, going to be their designated hitter, Ryan Quadros. First offering to Quadros, going to be fouled off for strike 1.
Now, sorry for going all Greg Berhalter on you all and giving score updates in the middle of a game so frequently, but it appears that the Aces have walked off the Senators in the bottom of the 10th, and the Giants now trail 12-1 against the Crop Dusters.
As the 0-1 going to be popped high into right field. Under it, going to be Justin Nato with the catch and out number 1.
So if those scores hold serve, the Aces will take over the 1 seed outright over the Giants.
Now we've had some changes within the infield. It's Jack Guerrero at third, Nato at second, and it looks to be Landon Franklin at shortstop. First offering to catcher Jack McCarthy, painting the inside for strike 1. The 0-1. Allen swung on and missed for strike 2.
Phoebe, it's so cool being directly on level with the field and right behind the catcher because you can pretty quickly tell if a pitch is going to be a strike or not. So there's almost this anticipation that builds that's like, oh, I wonder if he's going to swing at this strike.
As Count moves to 1-2.
Now, because oftentimes where we're seated, we can't really tell where in the zone the ball is. We sometimes have to take an educated guess. But here it is just about exact, which I think is super duper cool.
As the 1-2, that one's going to be fouled off into the netting by the backstop. Happy to say didn't flinch that time.
Nor did I. Nor did I.
As number 20, Bryce Curry, stepped over to take the ball out of its place between the netting and the padding. The 1-2, that one grounded to Nato at second. He's going to send it to Wesley at first to record out number 2. So now stepping up number 20, Bryce Curry, the third baseman for the T-Bolts. 2 outs on the board, no runners on base. T-Bolts have been held scoreless since the bottom of the first, are trailing by 6. First offering to Curry, gonna be low for ball 1. The 1-0 outside for ball 2. The 2-0. Allen's in there for strike 1.
Now a scheduling reminder for the Big Train. They will stay on the road tomorrow as they'll head to Olney to take on the Crop Dusters. They'll be back home Saturday against the Giants.
The 2-1. That one nearly skimming the shoulder of Curry. Count moves 3-1.
And then to close out the regular season, the Big Train are back here at Montgomery Blair High School on Sunday. Travel to South County High School on Monday and close out the regular season at home against the Grays on Wednesday.
The 3-1, that one popped high into left field, gonna land foul in the Big Train's bullpen. Count moves full on Curry.
That one, the second long ball that's gone just a bit foul down the left field line for Curry.
The full count, that one gonna be grounded foul down the third base line. So again, the count 3-2 on Curry. 2 outs on the board for the T-Bolts, no runners on base. The full count, that one popped high into the fencing above left field. Curry gonna stay alive to face the full count yet again.
He's right there. He is right there. Just a little later, just a split second later, he's probably got himself at the very least an extra base hit.
The 3-2, that one again popped high into left field and under it. It lands foul. Guerrero was charging over from third, trying to make the catch for out number 3. Unfortunately, couldn't get a hand on it. So Curry's gonna have to return to the plate to face the full count yet again.
It looked like his eyes led his feet astray, went a little too far to the right, and realized he had to go back left.
So Curry facing the full count. 2 outs on the board for the T-Bolts. The 3-2, that one grounded foul down the left field line. Curry gonna face the full count again. The full count. That one's going to be swung on and missed for strike 3 and out number 3. So the Big Train hold 'em scoreless yet again, still leading by 6. Stay tuned as we head into the top of the 8th inning. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner, no. 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 Boogie down, mix up. Boogie down, fix up. The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey baby, I love the way you groove. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey baby, I love the way you boogie down. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Boogie down.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the top of the 8th inning. Big Train still leading by 6. Score is currently 7-1. First up at the plate, it's going to be a pinch hitter, Landon Franklin. In the bottom of the 7th, we saw him take over the shortstop position. T-Bolt's putting a new pitcher up on the mound. It's going to be Bobby Fleming, number 48. First offering in there for strike 1.
Now Franklin's gotten a hit in 4 of his past 5 games, including the last 2.
The 0-1, that one's grounded over to shortstop. Erd makes the throw over to Foster in time, so that's going to record out number 1 for the Big Train as the designated hitter, Davin Whitaker, steps up to the plate.
Boy, this this guy's been a vacuum at short all night long. No matter how difficult the play is, Josh Erd has seemed to make it every single time.
So 1 out on the board for the Big Train as Davin Whitaker takes to the plate. First offering gonna be low and outside for ball 1. Whitaker been having a very successful night from the plate as the DH reached base on all 4 at-bats as the 1-0 gonna be a hair outside for ball 2.
Now this is Fleming's 4th appearance of the summer, was a late arrival for the T-Bolts, made his first appearance on July 2nd, has pitched just 3 2/3 entering tonight.
As the 2-0 gonna be swung on and missed for strike 1.
Last outing was against the Crop Dusters a few days ago, allowed 2 runs, 1 earned in an inning and 2/3.
The 2-1 gonna be low and actually bouncing up from the dirt into the backstop. Count moves 3-1 on Whitaker.
And it looks like we are going to have another pinch hitter on deck. That is Josh Skoronsky.
Skoronsky recently committing to Winthrop. As the 3-1 gonna be upstairs for ball 4. Whitaker reaches base yet again. As now pinch hitter Josh Skoronsky steps up to the plate. 1 out on the board for the big train, 1 runner on base.
Skoronsky 0 for 3 against the Giants in the Big Train's last game before the mini All-Star break. But in the game before that against Alexandria was the hero in extra innings, bringing Davin Whitaker in from third on a walk-off sacrifice fly.
First offering to Skoronsky, gonna be low and outside for ball 1. The 1-0 in there for strike 1. The 1-1, that one's outside for ball 2. So the count moves 2-1 on Skoronsky. Whitaker still aboard first, 1 out on the board for the big train. The 2-1, that one gonna be low and outside, moving the count 3-1 on Skoronsky.
Waiting on deck is Luke Vaughn.
The 3-1, that one outside for ball 4. Skoronsky's gonna toss his bat as he makes his way out to first. Davin Whitaker advances to second as Luke Vaughn steps up to the plate. Vaughn was struck out at the plate during his previous at-bat, but before that launched a double. First offering to Vaughn. That one's in there for strike 1. The 0-1 upstairs for ball 1. Count 1-1 on Vaughn. Again, Whitaker on second, Skoronsky on first. 1 out on the board for the big train, who are currently leading by 6.
Looking to provide a little bit of extra insurance. Already have a good bit at this point in time.
As the 1-1 gonna land in the dirt, gets away from McCarthy. With that, Whitaker will advance to third, considered going home, gonna stay at third. Skoronsky advanced to second.
Now, the reason why he thought about going home is that Fleming was still on the mound when Whitaker was at third. Almost got burned for a lack of hustle there. But Fleming, realizing at the last second that it would probably be a good idea to go and cover home.
So the count 2-1 on Vaughn, with 2 runners in scoring position, 1 out on the board. The 2-1, that one popped high, foul, and it's gonna bounce right in front of Curry and McCarthy, who both charged over, dropped right in front of the fence in front of the big train dugout.
Now, going back to 2 plays ago, it's what we've talked about multiple times on this broadcast regarding mistakes. The worst thing you can do after a mistake is let it seep over into the future, which is almost what happened to Fleming. He let a pitch get away and looked down immediately after, seemingly disappointed in himself, but that almost turned into another mistake, which would have been not covering home.
As a 2-2. Gonna be swung on and missed for strike 3 and out number 2. That's gonna send up left fielder Jaden Bastian. Made a rolling and diving effort from left field. An excellent catch off of a launched ball into left field. 2 outs on the board for the Big Train. Runners on second and third. First offering to Bastion. That's going to be low for ball 1.
Now the game in South County has gone final. The Braves have taken down the Grays 5-3.
The 1-0, that one's grounded through the hole past, the shortstop Erd gets a glove on it. He'll make the throw over to Foster at first. That's going to record. Sorry, not in time as Bastion safely aboard first. Whitaker scratching across the 8th run of the evening. Skoronsky advances to third. Runners on the corners for Jack Guerrero. So Bastion speeding past the efforts of the outfielders makes it aboard first safely. 2 outs on the board for the Big Train.
So now with the Braves win and the Grays loss, they are now tied at 13 and 18 in the standings.
First offering to Guerrero. That one's popped high into the backstop for strike 1. The 0-1, that one's fouled off for strike 2. Again, it's Jaden Bastion at first, Josh Skoronsky at third. 2 outs on the board for the Big Train as Guerrero faces an 0-2 count.
Matthew Westley on deck, hoping to get an at-bat here.
The 0-2, that one outside for ball 1 as Bastion takes off for second. Count 1 and 2 on Guerrero. Runners now in scoring position at second and third in Bastion and Skoronsky. The 1-2, that one's gonna be swung on and missed for strike 3 and out number 3. So the Big Train leave 2 stranded on the base path, but not before recording their 8th run of the evening. Stay tuned as we head into the bottom of the 8th. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner, no. 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 Boogie down, fix up. Boogie down, fix up.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the bottom of the 8th inning. Big Train recording their 8th run of the evening in the top of the 8th, thanks to a ground ball from Jaden Bastion, which moved Davin Whitaker off of 3rd. Up at the plate, going to be a pinch hitter for the T-Bolts, number 2, Quincy Villa, and another substitution in the field for the Big Train, going to be Josh Skoronsky in right field.
As we're going to have a quick mound visit between Vaughn and Ceniceros. Quincy Villa pinch hitting for the left fielder John Dunyan. So the All-Stars night is done. Villa looking for his first hit since July 2nd. That was the end of what was a 5-game hit streak. Had gotten a hit in 8 of his last 9 up until July 5th when he went 0 for 4 against the Braves.
As the count moves 2-0 on Villa. The 2-0. That one's in there for strike 1.
We've seen a lot of fastballs from a lot of these pitchers on both sides with so much movement. That one from Ceniceros not moving really at all horizontally.
The 2-1. That one's popped foul into the backstop for strike 2. Count even on Villa.
Waiting on deck is Matthew Kim.
The 2-2. That one in there for strike 3. That's going to record out number 1 for the T-Bolts as Matthew Kim steps up to the plate.
Love that pitch from Ceniceros. It looked like Villa was sitting fastball. Ceniceros delivering an off speed, which threw Villa off balance and eventually sent him back to the dugout. Now, the last time Kim was at bat, he was, or at least became, the victim of spectacular defense from Jaden Bastion in left field.
First offering to Kim in there for strike 1. So the count moves 0-1 on Kim, 1 out on the board for the T-Bolts, who are trailing by 7. The 0-1, that one's fouled off into the backstop for strike 1. That's outside. For ball 2, count moves 2-1 on Kim. Again, 1 out on the board for the T-Bolts. As the next offering going to be in there for strike 3. Matthew Kim sent down looking. That's going to send up number 23, another pinch hitter. It's going to be Mike Heckman stepping up to the plate for the T-Bolts.
Heckman's made just 30 at-bats this summer for the T-Bolts. Had an RBI a few days ago against the Crop Dusters. Had 3 hits 4 days ago against the Senators.
First offering to Heckman, fouled off into left field. Launched that, but unfortunately was foul. Count moves 0-1 on Heckman. A lot of power behind that hit.
Unfortunately, just couldn't time it up quite right.
The 0-1. That one fouled off for strike 2. So the count 0-2 on Heckman, 2 outs on the board for the T-Bolts. The 0-2. That one's fouled off into the backstop. Heckman gonna stay alive to face the 0-2 count.
And it looks like there's another pinch hitter on deck for the T-Bolts. Their bench being emptied by the batter. It's Matthew Walters in the circle, although Ceniceros would like to see him next half inning, most likely.
The 0-2. That one gonna be outside for ball 1. Count 1 and 2 on Heckman, 2 outs on the board for the T-Bolts. Again, T-Bolts have not scored since the bottom of the first. The 1-2, that one high for ball 2. The 2-2. That one's gonna be swung on and missed for strike 3 and out number 3. Big Train still leading 8-1. Stay tuned as we head in to the 9th inning. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the top of the 9th inning. Kicking things off going to be Matthew Wesley, first offering to Wesley. Going to be in there for strike 1.
It'll be Wesley, Nadeau, and Williamson due up for the Big Train.
The 0-1. That one landing in the dirt for ball 1. Again, Nadeau been having a spectacular night from the plate. Recorded a base hit and 3 doubles. As the 1-1 gonna be chopped into the glove of the pitcher Fleming. He'll flip it over to Foster to record out number 1. So Justin Nadeau stepping up to the plate again, has had back-to-back-to-back doubles this evening. Looking to tack on some more success from the plate. First offering to Nadeau, gonna be popped high, ranging into left center field. And under it with the catch, and out number 2 is gonna be Dunyan. So 2 outs on the board for the Big Train as Andrew Williamson steps up to the plate. Looks like we have Quincy Villa in left field. Sorry, Matthew Walters in left field for Josh Dunyan, who made the catch for out number 2, as the first offering to Williamson is going to be low and outside for ball 1. We saw Matthew Walters on deck to pinch hit in the bottom of the 8th. Did not get a chance as Heckman was struck out, as the 1-0 going to be high but outside for ball 2. The 2-0. That one's knocking on the next door neighbor's door for ball 3.
Now the game in Gaithersburg has gone final. The Crop Dusters dominating the Giants 12-2. So a Big Train win would shrink their division lead to just 3 games.
As the 3-0 paints the inside corner for strike 1. Count now 3-1 on Williamson, 2 outs on the board for the Big Train. The 3-1 outside for ball 4. Williamson will take his base. That's the second walk of the night for Williamson, as number 22, Landon Franklin, gonna step up to the plate. First offering to Franklin popped high and foul for strike 1. Count 0-1 on Franklin. Williamson aboard first, 2 outs on the board for the Big Train. The 0-1, that one's outside for ball 1. The 1-1, that one just a hair outside for ball 2. The 2-1, that one's in there for strike 2. Count moves even on number 22, Landon Franklin. Again, Williamson aboard first, 2 outs on the board for the Big Train. The 2-2, that one popped high, line down the middle, under it, the center fielder Jeff Savater with the catch and out number 3. So the Big Train leave one stranded at first, still leading by 7, looking to protect that as we head into the bottom of the 9th. Stay tuned, you're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the bottom of the 9th inning. It's Mad Max time. Max Martzoff stepping onto the mound for the Big Train. T-Bolts looking for their last-ditch effort to save this game. Up at the plate, number 11. As he takes the first offering for strike one, number 11, Matthew Walters, sitting at an 0-1 count. The 0-1 going to be swung on and missed for strike two.
And waiting on deck is another pinch hitter. It'll be number 25, Andrew Powers.
The 0-2, that one swung on and missed for strike three and out number one for the T-Bolts. Now stepping up to the plate, number 25, Andrew Powers.
Powers just 4 of 43 so far this summer.
First offering to Powers. That one fouled off into the backstop for strike one. The 0-1. That one in there for strike two. Count 0-2 on pinch hitter Andrew Powers. The 0-2, that one's fouled off towards the Big Train dugout. Powers will stay alive to face the 0-2 count yet again. The 0-2, that one gonna be swung on and missed for strike three and out number two. Now stepping up to the plate, Braden Foster was struck out during his previous at-bat. Max Martzoff looking to end the game here. First offering to Foster, gonna be swung on and missed for strike one. The 0-1, that one's fouled off into the backstop for strike two.
Let's see if Mad Max can complete an efficient inning in relief to send the road team home happy.
It's the 0-2, that one's gonna be chopped over to third baseman Guerrero, flips it over to West 3, and that's the game, folks. Your Bethesda Big Train taking an 8-1 victory on the road. My goodness, what a game. Big Train holding them scoreless for 8 consecutive innings. T-Bolts recorded their first and only run in the bottom of the first. Quentin, what are your thoughts?
Well, I said pregame that I wanted to see the Big Train play a complete game. That's exactly what happened. The pitching showed up, the hitting showed up, and the defense showed up. And if they can do this as continuously as possible, they are going to be in really good shape heading into the playoffs. So my hope for their sake is that these kind of performances can continue. Obviously, the T-Bolts are at the bottom of the standings, and they're going to play very good competition really the rest of the way because, again, the playoff picture is very murky. Every team still has a chance. But boy, oh boy, it was great to see them play as well as they did in all 3 facets of the game tonight.
I definitely agree. I think this is such a confidence boost. Again, they went on a 4-game winning streak. That winning streak was snapped by the Gaithersburg Giants earlier this week with a 3-2 loss in Gaithersburg. So what a way to come back from that loss on the road and set things right. As you said, every facet of the game stepped up tonight, and that's why they walked away with the victory. We talked a lot during the pregame show about how we've seen Big Train go on the road, put up runs early, and then the bats just go cold. That's not what happened here tonight. A 4 spot in the top of the 5th, bringing them the victory at Montgomery Blair High School. They're going to hit the road again on Friday, headed back to the Olney Boys and Girls Club to face the Crop Dusters. Quentin's going to be on play-by-play. I'll be adding some color to the broadcast. But for our producers, Jordan Parham and Lindsay Morin, who unfortunately still out sick, wishing her a speedy recovery. For our executive producer and general manager, Harrison Myers, for my partner, Quentin Corpuel, my name's Phoebe Winters, and you've been listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.